Pick a move in the ring. You can hit me with the words you fling.
All right, guys, this is Tom Taylor with South China Morning Post, SCMP Martial Arts. Over there at the wheel on the other side of the screen is a man you all know well, the former two-division MMA champion, Aung La N Sang. Aung La, it's been a little while since I've spoken to you, I think, a couple of months maybe. It's hard to say when the last chat was. Probably when I saw you in Manila, I guess. But how are things going, man?
Good. Everything's well, man. Just starting camp, for May 5th. Um, had a good pre-camp as well, so we're good to go, brother.
Cool. Well, you got this big fight with Fan Rong coming up. Definitely want to talk about that. But before we get into that, I just wanted to chat about your trip to Bangkok last week. Obviously, cornering Martin again. First and foremost, I
Yeah,
mean, how satisfied are you with that win that he got?
man, that was a much-needed win, So I'm very, very happy. He spent 12 weeks, at my house, away from his family, Christmas, New Year's. So to get that win, it was satisfying, man. It was a
Hmm.
relief and a joy to see my friend win.
Definitely, man. And he called it an emotional roller coaster on Instagram. I think that's fair to say. There was all these opponent changes. It was
Yeah.
Shamil Gasanov, and then it was the guy from Kyrgyzstan, and then obviously Leonardo from Brazil in the end. How stressful was
Yeah.
that for him? Do you think just being there with him?
Uh, he was a little emotional. He was a little emotional, and he was a little stressed. But I told him, like you trained, you had a great training camp. You trained for a guy that's 13-0, like a phenomenal grappler and a phenomenal fighter. Any other change is, I don't think it's going to measure up to that opponent that you trained for. So you shouldn't. You're going to make the same amount of money. You shouldn't worry too much about it. It's out of your control, but it does work in your favor is what I told him. And with that being said, it's still a different fight. So what he prepared for made him sharper at a lot of things, but it's not the fight that he mentally prepared for. And I had to really change it. And I really had to like tell him, it's gonna be whoever it is. Like the later two opponents are not gonna be as hard of a test in a lot of aspect as Shamil.
Hmm. Yeah, that's really good advice. And then obviously the important thing is that he, ended up leaving Bangkok with a win. He's back in the win column.
Yeah,
It kind of opens the door for a lot of big fights for him. And one that people are talking about now is potentially fighting Gary Tonin in the
yeah,
US, same card as you. What do you think of that one for him?
that would be a great fight. Both great fighters. Um, they were supposed to fight when Martin had the belt, so this is the perfect time, man. And he get to do it with me in Colorado. That would be amazing. If that happens, it'd be amazing. If not, he'll be there as well to support me. So
Hmm.
all
Well,
good. Either
you've
way,
got
it's fine.
yeah, it's good. That'd be really cool to get both of you on the same card, I'm sure. But one way or the other, you've got a big opportunity coming up fighting Fan Rong. Obviously, the special thing about this one though is that it's in the US. I mean, how excited are you to be fighting on home turf for the first time in so long?
I'm super excited, man. It's like it's almost 10 years since I fought in the States, so I feel like I've made a name on the other side of the world, and I put in that work, and so I can't wait to show the American fans what I'm capable of.
Hmm. And just in terms of like preparation, obviously, everyone knows it's going to be easier for you not having to fly as far. But just like, how does this actually make things easier for you? What changes for you when you don't have to fly around the world?
I can bring more training partners. I can make it more. Um, I can make preparations easier for the fight towards the end, and I have a lot of things in my control. Then versus in, let's say, like in Singapore, or and even in, like, the worst example would be like Hefei in China, when
Mhm.
like I couldn't speak their language. It's in a foreign in a foreign country. um, I had a hard time getting the right food and such. But for this one, it's going to be a lot easier.
Yeah, and it'll be Fan Rong dealing with all that stuff that you're used to dealing with this time, which must be nice for you, right?
Yep, 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 for sure.
Are you bringing your family to this one? They're obviously it's gonna be much easier to get them to this one. I would assume,
Yep,
right?
yep. My whole
Nice,
family
man.
will be there.
Sweet, man.
I already rented out like an Airbnb for them, so it's gonna be good.
Let's talk about Fan Rong. Obviously, you were supposed to fight him before and ended up falling through. So you've kind of done back-to-back camps for this guy. Yeah, I mean, you must feel like at this point you know his game pretty well. You're pretty comfortable with what he offers.
Yeah, yeah, I would say so. Um, I was supposed to fight him, and then they switched it to Leandro, and then last fight they switched it to um, my last opponent. So I've studied him on twice now already, but it is what it is. It's I expect the best Fan Rong. He has nothing to lose and a lot to gain, so that being said, I expect the best Fan Rong, and we're gonna put on a show.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's. I think it's safe to expect the best Fan Rong. He's looked pretty good lately. He's got a good record. Like just looking at his record alone, it's pretty impressive. I think he's 19-3 or something. I
Yeah,
mean, how do you rate him compared to the other guys you've been fighting recently? Is this one of the tougher challenges of late for you?
I mean, he's tough. He's well rounded everywhere. Um, and he's lost to the two guys I lost to as well. So, uh, but I don't think he's I don't think his record is good, but I don't think he's fought the type of fighters I fought. Um, and I don't know. I don't think like I don't like with all due respect. I don't think he has as much experience and as much of a veteran in this sport as I am. Um, Skill set wise, I think I match well against him.
Mhm.
Um, but you can't underestimate. You can't underestimate, and you can't overestimate anybody in this game.
Hmm. Yeah, well
Yeah,
said. I guess with a lot of these guys that have sort of prettier looking records, like that's the question, right? Is what kind of opposition have they been facing? And I would agree that you've definitely, I mean, you've spent the last decade or so of your career fighting the best guys in the world. I don't know if that's true for him. Looking at his record, though, you mentioned that he's lost to Big Dash and RDR, and both of those
yeah.
guys submitted him. You're a BJJ guy at your roots. I mean, is this the fight where that grappling's going to come out? Maybe you choke him out. What do you think?
We'll see. But from my scouting reports, he's actually a grappler too. Just
Hmm.
he's more of a grappler too. So I don't know. If opportunity presents itself, yes. But you know what my game is. Everybody knows what my game is. I'm looking for a finish, and if it means grappling, I will grapple. If it means striking, I will strike. But I'm gonna look for a finish.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you were looking for a finish in your last two fights. You got those two quick knockouts over real veterans. If you win this one, like particularly if you win by finish again, that's three in a row, three finishes. Like, what's the next move for you? It kind of, in my mind, has to be a title shot at that point. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I've been keeping the gate. I've been the gatekeeper. If I destroy everybody coming to the gate, I might as well go in the castle, right, and get my
Yeah.
throne back. So
So you're still keen to get that one back from RDR. I know you
of
guys have done some
course,
training, and yeah.
of course. I mean, that why else would I stick around if I don't have plans to get my belt back? You
Hmm.
know, why else would I stick around? I don't. Money doesn't mean much to me. I mean, you need money, but then like money doesn't isn't everything. It's like if I'm not trying to be the best in my division, what am I doing this for?
Hmm. Yeah, well said, man. Speaking of RDR, I don't think I've actually spoken to you about him since he fought Malkin. Now, apologies if Nick asked you about this in Bangkok or something, but
No,
what
he
did you
hasn't.
think? Yeah, what did you think about that fight? I think it was kind of surprising for a lot of people to see RDR lose so decisively. I mean, what did you think of that?
I don't think it was. I don't think. I really don't think it was surprising at all.
Mm,
You think about it, right? what does RDR? RDR is a one trick pony. He takes a person down and he grapples them, right? Grounds and
Hmm.
pounds them, right? What other way does he win? He doesn't outstrike people, you know.
Hmm.
He grapples them. He takes them down and grapples them, right? How is he gonna grapple a, a wrestling like high level wrestler who is bigger than him and stronger than him, and have a really good, Greco style wrestling, which is very much Reinier style, the body lock and such.
Hmm.
And then who has a superior striking and is super heavy handed. There's only one possible outcome, in my opinion, right?
Hmm.
It's either that or I don't know. Somehow he tires uh, the bigger opponent out. Tires him out. But to me, it wasn't a surprise at all.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I sort of felt the same way about that fight. Full respect to RDR, but that's
For
sort of the
sure,
outlook I had ahead of time too.
for
Um,
sure.
having seen that, obviously you're not the same fighter as Malkin. There's a lot of differences between you guys, but that now that you've seen De Ridder lose, does that sort of give you confidence, give you some idea of how to do it?
I mean, confidence. Like I always had it in my head how I would fight him next. How I would fight him again. Um, and what I needed to improve in my game. Um, so yes, technically, like speaking, that's a very similar game plan that I would have to use to beat RDR. Um,
Hmm.
I don't see his striking drastically improve in the next 6 months or so if I were to fight him.
Hmm.
Um, so that would be the play.
Hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, I'd certainly love to see that rematch. I think a lot of people would. Now, I know that this may be a dumb question, given that you're right on the cusp of a rematch with De Ridder at middleweight, but you were the light heavyweight champion. Also, any interest in going back up there, and would you potentially fight Malkin at some point if that opportunity came along?
It's too early to talk, but you can't say no to you can't say if opportunity is there, anything is possible. But regardless, Malkin, Reinier, whatever, nothing matters to me right now except Fan Rong. What good is thinking
Hmm.
about all those if I can't do my job on May 5th? It doesn't make any sense
Hmm.
whatsoever. And this test is you can't overlook Fan Rong. You cannot overlook that guy at all. Um,
Hmm.
he has everything to gain. He has a title shot to gain if he beats me, with nothing else to lose. So like, the only thing he could lose is probably get put to the hospital, by me. But besides that, like he has nothing to lose and a lot to gain. So, but
Yeah.
that being said, right, I'm not focused on anything but that.
Hmm. Fair enough, man. Well, let's get back to that fight in just 1 second. I wanted to get your thoughts though on the Malkin versus Bular fight, just because it's coming up. Do you have a
Yeah,
prediction for that one?
yeah. I think Arjan's gonna have a hard time just
Hmm.
because Malkin's a little bit faster, a little bit heavier handed. Uh, you don't see Arjan put people out like Malkin does. And
Hmm.
from what I've seen, Malkin is looking fast. Like last week, I got to watch him a little bit, see him in person, and he actually looks very trim for the heavyweight weight class. So that being said, right, he's gonna be a little bit faster than Arjan. From what I've seen from Arjan is a great wrestler, right? He's a great wrestler, but what if he can't take Malkin down? I think Malkin's hands are going to be a little bit faster and a little bit more powerful. So I'm going to lean towards Malkin, but at the heavyweight division, anything can happen.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a good breakdown. I have to tell you, you look very majestic with the sun shining in here. Looks like the beginning of a movie or something, man.
Florida sun. It's a Florida sun.
Yeah, it's nice stuff, man. All right, well, let's get back to this fight with Fan Rong. We can wrap it up in a minute.
Yep.
Prediction for this one. Obviously, you're going for a finish. You said that, but what's the perfect way to win in front of U.S. fans?
Violent finish within the third round, within 3 rounds. Don't blink, because I'm bringing everything with me this fight. I'm putting, I'm putting my body through hard, intense training, and it's going to be the best version of me so far.
Other than your fight, of all the fights that have been announced for that card so far, which one are you kind of most keen to see the result of?
Of course, the main event. I got DJ, whom I have utmost respect for, and then Marias, my boy. That one is going to be amazing, man. I can't wait. It's a trilogy match. There were some hiccups with Adriano's on the last fight. With his weight and all that. So I just can't wait how this one's gonna turn out. It's gonna be an amazing show, man. And I'm telling you, I'm gonna put on a hell of a show for you guys in America.
I have no doubt about it, man. What are your expectations for one's move into the States? Obviously, this is a big moment for them. How do you see their expansion into the U.S. going for them?
It's perfect timing, man. It's perfect timing, especially with UFC and the crazy slap box slap. What is it? Power slap thing.
Power slap, yeah.
Which is a joke. And then one championship is bringing the highest level Muay Thai in 4-ounce gloves. It's a perfect time, a perfect storm for one championship. So we'll see, and this, I mean, on my part, I'm gonna put on a great show, and the fans can expect an awesome show for sure.
Definitely. Well, I can see you've reached your destination, Ong. I'll let you go. Any message for your fans, not just in the States, but back home in Myanmar?
Just keep watching us. We're gonna put on great shows. Thank you for all the love and support. I can't wait. I can't wait for May 5th. It's gonna be a fiesta. It's gonna be a salsa party on Cinco de Mayo.